We open with a sweeping shot of a dusty, cluttered study. Maps, artifacts, and old photographs cover every surface. Indiana Jones, now in his late 70s, stands before a large map spread across a table. He's aged, but still carries an air of adventure. His eyes are fixated on the map, tracing lines with his finger.
They say life's full of twists and turns, but this is a turn I never expected.
Indiana's fingers stop tracing, and he looks pensive, lost in thought. Quick shots of Indiana's past adventures flash by, boulders chasing him, whips cracking, ancient temples collapsing.
I've seen my fair share of close calls, faced danger with a grin and a battered fedora, but now I'm facing something different.
The flashback transitions to a moment where Indiana retrieves the first part of the Dial of Destiny from a heavily guarded Nazi base.
The Nazis were hot on my heels. They wanted the dial, and they'd stop at nothing.
He takes a deep breath and picks up an old journal. He flips through the pages, each filled with sketches, notes, and cryptic symbols.
The dial, a treasure said to possess unimaginable power, divided into two parts to keep it from the wrong hands.
Indiana opens an envelope with a letter inside. He reads it, his expression changing from curiosity to realization.
A letter from an old friend, mentioning the location of the second part of the dial. It's calling me one last time.
Indiana packs his gear, his iconic fedora, whip, leather jacket, and a small satchel of tools. Marion Ravenwood, Indiana's longtime love interest, stands in the doorway.
Indy, are you sure about this?
Concern etched on her face.
I have to finish what I started, Marion. This is my last adventure, promise.
Indiana travels to various locations across the globe, deciphering clues and facing danger. Indiana finds himself in a bustling Middle Eastern market. He's pursued by a group of mercenaries who want the dial's second part. He leaps over vendor stalls, crashes through awnings, and narrowly avoids being caught.
Let's not do that again.
Sometime later, Indy finds himself in more trouble. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, Indiana is ambushed by a tribe protecting the dial's second part.
Well, that didn't age well.
He's finally captured, but earns the tribe's respect through a ritual challenge. The tribe eventually grants him passage to the temple. The second part of the dial is believed to be inside.
This is it, the final stretch.
Indiana enters the temple, navigating traps, puzzles, and ancient mechanisms. He finally reaches the inner chamber, where the second part of the dial rests atop an ornate pedestal.
The Dial of Destiny. Let's see if my old tricks still work as they used to.
Indy pulls out a small bag and starts filling it with dirt to fool the pedestal.
It worked, I knew it would.
Indiana holds the dial's second part in his hands. He gazes at it, a mix of awe and contemplation on his face.
It's been a long journey, filled with moments that defined me. But maybe, just maybe, this time I can finally leave the adventure behind.
Indiana exits the temple, the sunlight bathing him in a warm glow. Back in his study, Indiana carefully places the two parts of the dial together. The room is bathed in a soft, otherworldly light as the dial activates.
Indy, what have you found?
The key to unlocking a power we might never understand, Marion. But it's not for us to control.
Indiana and Marion share a moment of reflection as the camera pans out, signaling the end of an era.